Hey, what's going on, everybody? You do not want to miss this next episode. We're sitting down with Rick Ortiz and Rickey Ortiz. Rick has spent 33 years on the Los Angeles Fire Department. We're going to talk about the situations that are going on now and the stuff he's been through over the last 33 years. We also got Rickey Ortiz here. He is a content creator and an influencer, and he's going to talk about his journey, not just fighting his disabilities, but achieving greatness. Tune in. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the FYI podcast. I'm your host, Paul Tully. Today, we have a returning guest, Rickey Ortiz. Rickey is a content creator. He truly shows in his content that there's no limits. No disability is too hard to accomplish your dreams. Rickey works hard. He inspires many people, including us. So we're honored to have Rickey back. And he brought a guest, his father, Rick Ortiz. LA Fire Department, I believe if I'm right, 34 years?
33.
33 years.
Almost 34.
On LAFD. So we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk about what it was like being on the force, what it was like being on the department, and amongst other things. Let's jump into it. Rick, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And Rickey, welcome back.
Thank you.
It's great to have you guys, man. I love the shirts. I hope
fire,
you brought a triple or quadruple X for me. I don't know if they make them that big, but that's pretty much what I'm wearing these days. Is this your first podcast, Rick?
Yes, first fight, yeah.
Amazing, man. Thanks for doing this. I want to kind of jump in right with what's going on. LA Fires, man. This has been incredible, devastating. Did you ever expect to see something so catastrophic in the city?
Well, we have these fires all the time in LA, brush fires, to great extents like this.
Yeah.
But this one, happened to spread more and, get into other cities and stuff like that. I don't think that they were really prepared for what happened. Because every year we prepare. We, pre-deploy, we assign hire, and they look at the wind and, so they kind of anticipate what's going to go on. I wasn't there, so I don't know what's going on, but, to me, it was just bad luck. I mean,
yeah,
it had to happen, and like on the way up here, I was telling my son, we were driving up Colima, and we seen a whole bunch of dry brush, just for years, just growing. And I said, that's going to take off pretty soon, because it has to happen. I mean, when people don't clear their brush, that's what happens. So I was telling him, this is going to go up maybe this year or next year, where we live.
Wow, that's interesting you said that, because my next question was going to ask, like, what do you think could have been done to prevent it? And you led right into that, actually, without me asking. So what can we do? Is that something that you think the city needs to take care of, or is that more homeowners? I mean, that takes care of that brush, and I mean that would be more of a city thing.
Well, the city, we have inspectors that inspect the brush areas, and if for brush clearance, they got to be so many feet away from the house, and stuff like that. And so if they're not, then they write them a notice to clear their brush.
Yeah.
And if they don't, I believe the city will clean it up, but they'll have to pay for it. They add it onto their taxes or something.
Right.
I'm not really sure how that works. But yeah, we have inspectors that do that.
Okay. So because it's so, if you notice things like what you noticed today, how does that work? Is there a way to report that, or do you think they're already aware of it and it's budget issues? Why aren't they getting all this brush taken care of?
Well, I'm just where I live. That's where we're going up. We're going up this. It's called Colima Road. It's a long stretch, and there's a lot of brush that's growing out of control. And I believe it's a different fire department than ours.
Yeah, right.
So I don't know what their procedures are.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It was just interesting because my dad, he's been retired for a year now. And so, like, before even these fires are even starting, because the winds are picking up, I remember my dad told me, like 3 days before any of the fires happened, he's like, I think there's going to be a fire soon, like, just based off the weather. So I think, like, that's pretty, I guess, he could tell by, like, the signs and the wind patterns and things like that.
Yeah, because and also because of the Santa Ana winds.
Yeah.
The Santa Ana winds are dries up everything, and they're warm. So what they do is they have a prediction. It's called the Campbell Fire Prediction, where at different times, what the weather's going to be and the wind, and it heats up, all the brush and stuff. So they could, they could predict this is the most time where it might burn, and this is not. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Stuff like
yeah.
that. And so I always know, like, because of the weather.
Yeah.
This is perfect time for a brush fire, or it's going to be a brush fire pretty soon, or and every year it happens.
Wow.
Every year we have some kind of brush fire.
Yeah.
Every year, this was to the extreme this year,
Right.
in the city of LA. But I've been in a lot of brush fires throughout my career. Every year, we get pre-deployed, and we start strike teams, and we get ready to go. And then when there's a brush fire, then we go. We're all ready to go.
You guys always do an incredible job, first of all. And I think the department did an incredible job with this as well. I mean, it's a rough job. And I think these fires kind of got worldly attention. So a lot of us that don't know much about the dangers and the work that gets put into doing what you guys do got a lot more attention for us to see and realize how difficult it is, and even now seeing, like, even the politics behind it and stuff, and how much goes into it, and preparation and being ready. And what you like, I know there's a lot of controversy around the hydrants were empty, stuff like that. Is that a that's not a common issue? Is that more of a fire department issue, or who's in charge of that kind of stuff?
Well, that it happens because I was in a big brush fire once, and we had no water pressure because everyone's using the water and stuff like that. So along those lines, it happens. I mean, I don't know what went wrong. I wasn't there. I don't know, exactly the particulars.
Yeah.
But I was in a big brush fire, and same thing happened to us. Maybe the hydrants were dry, and and we almost got caught, so we had to leave. So before we got burnt up. So
Wow.
Is that because everybody's using, like, the water?
yeah,
for the house?
everyone's used water pressure, and you know what I mean. All the water, the pressure goes down.
So it's not really right. It's almost like I don't know either. Like, you weren't there, but
You can't
it's like,
control
whose
that.
fault is that? You can't. I mean, everybody's using water at this time.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure. It just happened. I mean, I don't know how it happened, but it just happened. If it was preventable, I don't know. Because I wasn't there and I didn't hear anything about it, so I don't know if it was preventable.
Yeah. Now, is that a fire department thing to check those hydrants, or is that usually?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what. It is the fire department that does that.
You know what? When I worked, I don't know about now. Somebody told me that the fire department don't check them anymore. I think DWP checks them now.
That's what I'm wondering. Yeah.
Because I'm coming up on 2 years, and somebody had just told me that. I was like, because every year we test hydrants. We go test hydrants, see, if they're flowing, the pressure, the stem, are they clean around it, if they're accessible. We clean them up and get ready.
Yeah.
Get them ready for for anything, for fires.
Yeah.
But I had coffee with one of my friends the other day, and he retired too, and he said, I think he said that DWP checks them now.
Interesting.
I'm not sure.
And
Yeah.
What's the DWP?
Department of Water and Power.
Yeah. Department of Water.
Yeah, and I'm
Interesting.
not sure. That's what I heard.
It's hard for me to think a firefighter is not actually testing those hydrants, knowing their brothers, sisters are going to be out there potentially fighting a fire and their life's on their hand. And I'm not saying it was DWP or anybody, but I could see that being more possible, that it's not actually the fire department that was checking those hydrants. But I could be wrong too, or I guess we'll find out,
Yeah.
what happens. It's, that will all come out later. But let's get into something more important. Your work as a firefighter. Do you have any stories that stand out of like a big event or something that was like,
Well, I have a lot of stories. A lot of stories. I mean, I have a million of them, like they say. But one of the biggest ones was the LA riots. And there was a lot of fires, a lot of chaos, a lot of everything.
Yeah, I remember those.
And that was pretty intense.
Wow, so you were working that?
Oh, yeah.
That was what, 92? Yeah, something like
yeah.
that.
I think it was.
Yeah.
I think it was 92.
92.
Were
Yeah.
you a firefighter then, or were you an engineer?
Yes, I was a firefighter there.
Wow, what was that like? That must have been
It was
chaotic.
intense. I mean, there was a lot of, like I said, a lot of chaos, a lot of fire, a lot of buildings collapsing, and so.
A lot of looting going
Lot of-
on.
lot of
Did you have to
looting
deal with
and-
that, like as firefighters, with?
No, actually no. But I remember one time because we had a staging area where everybody staged, and and they would be dispatched out of going to fires and stuff. And there were like one time they didn't have any more meals to give us, so we were like, oh crap. So we were just driving to find somewhere to eat, and we stopped at this little place, and this guy. He said, "Hey, come on, I'll feed you guys." And he was a really nice man. Fed us all, you know what I mean? And really nice guy. And and that was good.
Yeah, right on.
But,
so like the community would,
Yeah, the community,
support.
yeah. And actually, LAPD did a good job. The National Guard did a good job, and you know what I mean, keeping us, because we had escorts,
Yeah, yeah.
and it was pretty intense.
Did anybody get hurt? Anybody you knew on the job get injured during that time?
People that I know, no, but yeah, a couple of firemen got shot at, and one got
Wow.
shot.
One got shot.
Yeah, but
Wow.
he turned out to be okay though later on. But
Wow.
yeah, it was.
Was that the time when you said someone like pulled out a gun and you like jump behind the car
Well,
or
yeah,
something like that?
yeah,
Was that time?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Somebody, we were putting out this fire, and I noticed somebody was driving, by and pulled out a gun, so I just jumped behind the car.
Yeah, let them do their job.
Yeah,
National
and let the
Gu-
guards
let the
do their
National Guards
job and
do.
stuff.
Hey, come on, you've been training once a week. Like
Yeah.
the National Guards do, like, which is awesome. But you're like, hey, you're trained for this. I'm not taking bullet fire. I'm a firefighter.
Yeah, but it turned out to be, okay.
Yeah.
And like I said,
Why were they shooting at you guys?
it was just,
Angry?
people were angry and
Yeah.
stuff like that, and you know what I mean. It's just what happened. I mean, that's what happens when you have a riot. People get angry, and stuff happens.
Yeah. That's wild. Imagine that you're going in to put out fires and then getting shot at. That's
Crazy.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's kind of like things that make you go,
I know.
yeah,
let it burn then. I'm going the other way. And that goes back to the testament of the honor system and what kind of man you are.
Mm-hmm.
That, think about that. A lot of people will be like, bro, I'm not going in and risking my life. You're shooting at me? You went in. That's what's amazing about firefighters is they always say, like, police really get, like, kind of a bad rap in the community, but firefighters are always, respected so much because, like, when other people are running from the danger, you're running into the danger.
yeah.
I mean, it takes a special person to do that, so I want to commend you for that.
Thanks.
And where's that come from? Was that something you grew up with? What made you want to get on the job?
Well, I always wanted to be a firefighter growing up, and I went to junior college and took some classes, and and then finally got serious about testing everywhere and stuff like that, and I worked part time, and finally LA City Fire clicked, started passing the tests, passing, the agility, the interview and everything else, and was on a list for a while, and then I got hired, and the funny thing is, my brother was the same thing, and my brother got hired with me.
Nice. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So he was on the job as well.
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So how long did it take you? What, like 3 years?
It took 5 years to get hired. Yeah. Just, it takes a while because everybody was testing and everything else. So
Yeah.
it took me like 5 years to
Yeah.
get hired. And my brother, he got hired the same time as me. So, and he retired too.
Were you guys already married or in relationships
No.
yet, or single guys?
We were single.
Forget about it.
Yeah.
We'll talk about those stories on another podcast. Couple young guys, fire department, LAFD. Ricky, your pops was the man.
But I think that's like a testament too for anything. Like, I mean, it took him 3 years to get on.
Yeah.
I mean, like, 5 years. Wow. So
Yeah,
it's like
5 years.
not give up on what you want to do.
Yeah,
That's
and,
right.
and that's the thing. A lot of friends of mine tried too with me. They're like, "Yeah, it's too hard. Everybody wants to be a fireman. I'm not going to get hired." And, right.
Yeah.
And guess what? They ended up not getting hired. And guess what? I got hired.
Yeah. No, it's great. I took the test when I got out of the Navy too. I took the sheriff's department and the LAFD, and it was just such a long. It's tough. It's really tough to get on. Like, you have to do good, great on the test, and then the agility, everything. I didn't even get to that phase because the list was so long.
Yeah.
And I gave up too. I just kind of like, decided let me go another path. But always like it's just it's a cool job. Aside from it being essential and needed, but it is a cool job. It's like, when you see you guys roaring down the street, blowing the whistle and you're just like,
Yeah.
it's awesome, man. You're like, oh, it's a cool gig, man.
Yeah.
So in your career, how has it influenced you in your personal life, being a husband, raising your kids? Like how being a firefighter and your experiences in such a job and such a high risk, high influence you as a father, as a man?
Well, the fire department's like a big family. You look out after each other, stuff like that. And, the same thing that applies when, you have a family. You look out after your family, you do anything for your family and stuff like that. And even, firefighters sympathize with other people's families too. Like if, you're having problems with your family or whatever, you got to always talk to your buddy or, get help somehow. Or even guys like when, say, they got hurt, you know what I mean, and they're in a hospital, guys would come and mow other guys' lawns and trim their hedges, you know what I mean? And you'd have like barbecues to raise money for this guy's wife or, the kids or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like a big family. And, that's what I take care of my family. And I've always tried to be around as much as I could with my family.
Yeah.
So, and I think that helped them be who they are now. All my kids went to college. My younger one's in college now.
Yeah.
They're all college graduates. And my youngest one, he's in college now.
Yeah.
So he got a soccer scholarship, so he's doing great.
Yeah.
And, so, so I try to be around as much as I could with my family, you know what I mean? I'm real family oriented,
Yeah.
There's
a line in The Godfather where he says to his son, Marlon Brando says to Sonny, he says, you spend time with your family? And then he says, because a man who doesn't spend time with his family can never be a real man. And I always thought that line packed a heavy punch of like, everything you're saying. It's like, it's beautiful.
Yeah, and I could attest to that too. Like, I mean, because my dad, he would be here like half the month, pretty much. Like, he would work one day and then he'd be here the next, work for like 2-3 days and then here for a couple of days after. So it was kind of like even most of the time. And like, and even I guess people think like that's even a lot, but that's like as much as he could like be with us as possible. And he would be with us for a long time too. But I remember even like people at my school, they'd be like, "Your dad doesn't come home?" They'd be like, "Oh, my dad's not here today." And they'd be like, "What do you mean he's not here?" I'm like, "He's at work." And he's like, he doesn't come home at night? Isn't Like, what does he do? I'm like, no, he like sleeps over.
Yeah.
And that was so wild to people at my school.
They
They'd be
couldn't
like, what do you
understand,
mean
yeah.
he doesn't like, he's gone? I'm like, he sleeps there. Like, that's all I knew. So I didn't find it being weird.
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you mean? He's just like, he's at work, whatever. So yeah, like just, I mean, I guess having that like difference between someone who doesn't have a family member in the fire department versus someone who does, they don't really get that. And I think into like we were saying, how you were saying, like, how has, being on the job, like, influenced, my dad and the person he is today. And, like, my dad and all of us, too, like, he's always instilled in us being, like, confident in ourselves, having this, like, level of confidence in, like, who we are and what we can achieve, and not letting, like, other people or any other circumstance, like, intimidate you. You have to have that. If you're not confident in yourself, then, like, it's you have to be okay with yourself for you to achieve anything, stuff like that. So I've always had that. He's never made me feel like less of who I am because of my disability. He's always like, oh, like you're just everybody else. Like, you're confident, you're smart, you can do whatever you want, and like you have to have that confidence. Like, you can't be scared if you want to be a firefighter. There's no way. Yeah. Like, you have to like be confident in your ability. So I think that translates not just in being a firefighter, but like in life, whoever you are, whatever you're dealing with, And yeah, and even like my brothers and my sisters, they all played soccer. I mean, my brother still does, but he was like always there for every game on the weekend.
Yeah,
he like never missed a game,
or practice.
Like ever.
Love that.
So like literally, he would never miss any game. And so I think that of being like having that time to like always show up and stuff like that, that's important. Yeah. So I always remember that. So
yeah, because you could make trades, you could take time off like that. So. Or take vacation, time off. So I would always do that. Yeah. And I would always, my wife starts to be mad at me because, yeah. When it comes vacation time, and I would say, wait a minute, Riley has a tournament that, okay, I'll take that. She goes, what? You're taking off your days vacation just to go to Riley's tournaments? I go, yeah. I mean,
it would just be like for practice too.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta take this, because I gotta take Riley to practice.
She'd be like, I could take him. It's fine. No, I'm going. It was funny.
Well, my son, he just wanted me to take him. Yeah. He was young.
Yeah.
And then my daughter played college soccer, and so sometimes there was a conflict where I had to take my son Riley to his game, and my daughter's game was the same in college, right? And it was a home game, and he would say, you're taking me to my game, right? Yeah. And I tell my wife that. Yeah. And so his game would end, and we were like, come on, get in the car, let's go. Yeah. So we would rush to my daughter's game because it was close by.
That's awesome.
So we do that.
I got a question for you, Rick. I have a son. Sitting here listening to your son say those things about what you instilled in him and the fact that you always taught them that you could achieve anything, but you got to do the work. Don't let anybody ever, all that powerful stuff. I'm a father, how's that make you feel to sit next to your son and hear him praise you like that?
It makes you feel great. I mean, I've raised him the way I wanted him to be, and this guy's smart. He's confident. I mean, this guy, he's the brains. This guy, yeah. What he can do physically, just mentally, he's just like a genius.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so when I have stuff to like I can't figure out, I'm like, here, you do it. You figure it out. There's my phone. Here, dude, figure it out for me.
Yeah.
This guy, he's like super genius. He could figure out anything.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So I'm very proud of my family. Very proud of him. My son. And my other son too, my other sons, and my daughter. I mean, like I said, they're all doing great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm honored to be sitting with you guys, and I got to come by your home. Thank you for welcoming me into the home that time, and just get a little feel of what it's like. And there's a lot of love in your home, and I mean, I see you built a gym, and you guys have a gym to work out together, and I got to see Ricky's spot where you do your training, and that stuff, man, it's beautiful. you know, and it's inspiring. And I think there's a lot of families out here that are fighting the good fight, and you know, it takes a lot of work. And even when you're talking, and I hear you giving a good, even playing field because you have multiple children, and I want to know it must have been hard because, you know, Rickey, with what you know, you have some physical limitations, and I'm sure there's a lot of attention that could get put to you when you're younger, especially, and being raised, and you have brothers and sisters. Like, so I commend you for keeping that even playing ground, because siblings can get very jealous of each other and feel like, and I think that's all natural. I mean, I'm no therapist, but that's natural to be like, I need attention too. And it feels like you did that by taking the days off to be at your son's practices, because I'm sure you and your wife gave a lot of attention to Rickey, and then, you know, for your daughter, and that can't be easy. So
and you know, I try to treat everybody the same. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, and sometimes we would do stuff for Rick, you know, Rickey, and you know, and then we do stuff for Riley and Tashi, and you know what I mean, Daniel. I try to do it for everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I would always take them to like ice cream. We go eat yogurt, and we'd always just sit there and BS.
Yeah.
Talk about just crazy stuff.
Well, that's the thing too. Like you know, we would do some things for me, some things for Riley, and you know, Tashi, and things like that. But like the majority of the things we do, like the majority of the stuff we all did is like that I could do too. So like if we would go somewhere, like we would go to the park, we would play catch.
Yes.
Like we wouldn't play baseball and run laps or whatever. Like whatever. We would play catch, and he would bring a ball that was small enough for me to hold, and we would all use it. So like it was things like that of like, they were like regular activities, but they were things that he made sure that I could do as well. So we would do that. We would get ice cream. We would go to the movies. Like all of these things are normal things, but they're the things that I can do. It's not like, you know, we're gonna go like I said, run a lap or go do this. Like I can't do that. But he never did anything like that. So I never felt like I'm not included. Everything we did was regular, but it was I was included in it.
Although, I mean, let's put it out. There is something that you've done, and your brother Riley, right? You're just gonna have to accept this, man.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say it, but I'm a pro before he was.
He's a pro soccer player, and we all witnessed.
Had to do it to him.
Had to do it, Riley. It had to happen. Listen, things happen, man. But, you know, stay on the course, and you could be number two when you become a pro, but you'll never be number one.
Nothing wrong with number two.
It already happened.
You know?
How awesome was that day?
That was cool.
That day was unbelievable, man.
Yeah.
That was really fun. Like, you know, we had a blast, man.
Yeah.
And,
That was really good.
Yeah.
really cool.
That was awesome.
Yeah, for those who don't know, I did a soccer collab with the indoor soccer team, the Empire Strikers, and I did their first kick. Like, you know how in baseball you do the first pitch like celebrities or influencers do? I did the first kick, so I went out there and kicked the ball to Marco Fabian. That was awesome.
Was
you know,
awesome.
the whole FYI pod was there.
He was on the team for a day.
It was on what was it? It was
Telemundo.
on not Telemundo. It was CBS something. It was on TV.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
They
I was like, what?
CBS.
Yeah, it was cool.
I think it was a Telemundo too.
Was it?
I think it might have been Telemundo.
Yeah.
I know they just did a deal with Telemundo, so it probably was. That was an incredible. Yeah, that was really fun.
Yeah,
Like, it was
that's
really
what
cool
it was.
hanging out with
It
your
was the
family.
Golazo Network on CBS. That's what it was.
Oh,
CBS
yeah,
Sports.
Yeah. CBS Sports.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's awesome, man. For any young people out there that are looking to get into the fire department, how great of a path is it? I mean,
yeah, I
worth
mean,
it?
it's a great career. I mean, but it's not for everybody. You know, you got to. You know, they risk their life.
Yeah.
But let's be honest. I mean, you're going to risk your life.
yeah,
You know, doing stuff, being exposed to stuff. You know, I've been exposed to all kinds of crazy stuff and risk my life here and there. Like, but that's the job, and you got to be willing to do that. Like you said, people are running out, and you're going to be running in the building. But the thing that I find it worthwhile is just helping people is my nature.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? It's like, you know, in order to help someone, say that, you know, you got a gunshot victim or something, you can't sympathize with them. You got to just help them. You got to do your job.
Yeah.
You can't just say, "Oh my God!" You're just like, oh, I know what to do. I'm doing this."
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what people don't understand. Some people, they're not meant to be firemen.
They like
or
freeze under pressure.
firefighters.
Yeah.
It's like they're like, "Oh my God!" It's like, "Hey, dude, just get in there and let's do it."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what I used to do. I mean, I would just not think about the situation. I just think about what I could do to help the situation and help the person.
Yeah. Did you ever lose anybody, like civilian wise, not or on your teams?
Yeah.
Did you guys ever lose anybody?
Yeah.
How do you deal with that when you go home?
Well, you try not to let it get to you, because you can't do your job if you do. You know, and they say it's that gallows humor. You like make fun of stuff. You know what I mean? When you go back, and all firemen do it. You know what I mean? To get over it, and you do get over it. But like I said, you can't take it to heart too much, because you can't do your job.
Yeah.
You see, like I said, you just think about helping that person, what I could do to help them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't think of, oh my God, this and that, and it looks so terrible. You got to just help that person, because you're no good to them.
Yeah.
And that's, like I said, some people just can't do that, and they end up quitting, or you know what I mean. It's not for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Do you have trouble separating that too when you go home? Like what you do at work? Because another thing I'd imagine, kind of like the military or police departments, which, all jokes aside, I'm so grateful for police departments. I support the blue and military and all first responders. But there's that adrenaline, that not everyone understands. That's a civilian, unless you wear a uniform or you're on the job. But that adrenaline of like doing good and getting in there and helping, and you want to help.
Mm-hmm.
But then how do you turn that off when? And how's that affected you in retirement? Like,
well, I still, when I saw these brush fires, I told my wife, man, I want to go.
Yeah.
Because I retired as an engineer.
And what's that, for people who don't know?
The engineer, he drives the fire engine and he pumps water to the fire. So you got to know your nozzle pressures, your friction losses. You got to know your system pressures of high-rise buildings. You got to know a lot. You were the guy.
yeah,
Fire don't go out without the engineer.
yeah.
So when you're an engineer, you don't go into the fires anymore. You supply the water.
Right.
Is that what you're saying?
Well, yeah, but sometimes you do. Like if you're first on scene engine at a high-rise fire, you're going up with your crew, and you park your engine next to the standpipes, so they could hook it up or do whatever.
Yeah.
So, in some cases you still go, but for the most part, like you got to know your stuff. And to me, driving the fire engine is the best.
That's gotta be awesome,
It's the
man.
best.
It's cool. Like when
That's why I said earlier, blowing that horn, people moving out of the way. I mean, that's got to be a rush.
Well, especially when they had manual transmissions. Now it's all automatic, so it's easy. But manual transmissions was cool. Yeah, to drive.
we would go and visit sometimes, and he would drive us in the truck. Like a lot of times, it was cool.
Yeah,
It was pretty cool.
When I retired, I took all my family, for a ride around, and
I have the video. I made a YouTube video about it.
Oh yeah,
Really?
His retirement.
Oh,
It was
that's
like,
cool.
It was like
I'm
a
gonna
send-off
watch.
video. I did it like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
No, year and a half. It was pretty
Yeah,
good.
He filmed. Yeah, it was pretty good.
I bet one thing I miss about when I was in the service was like the brotherhood of like on deployments. I'd be deployed for like 7 months on the ship, and you have just there's like there's a lifestyle, it's like lifting weights, working out with your working 18-hour shifts, and the rush of this, you must miss that at times too.
Oh,
right?
yeah,
Because you guys do like 3 days at the station, and then
you go 3 days on every other day, and then you got 4 days off in a row. But sometimes you get hired in between that, so sometimes you could work like 5 days in a row or 6 days in a row. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And but yeah, the camaraderie is good. I mean, that's what I miss too. I miss the guys and
Yeah.
the shenanigans. You know what I mean? And just
They're all like just gym bros. Like when we went there, they're all nice.
Yeah.
But they're all like they're cool.
yeah. See,
You know?
my last station, everybody was into working out. Everybody was into fitness and stuff like that, and we all got along great and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And even other stations, my buddies too. Like I'd go to their station and we would run and we just do a bunch of stuff and together. And so I'm starting to have like going out for coffee or stuff like that and meet my friends and now a couple of guys here and hey,
Nice.
how you been and this and that and so it's good.
It's important.
But yeah, I miss that too. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I keep them busy.
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah, he does.
We
Keeps
got
me
a
up into it.
question from the booth really quickly before we get to the game from producer, editor, technical engineer Andrew.
Sure.
Howdy. Yeah, so I'm just curious about you were talking about the trucks used to be manual transmission.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you have like a gear splitter? Like how does that work?
No, not like a tow truck. It's not a gear splitter. It don't have like 16 gears. It has like seven gears. With a clutch, you got double clutch, put it in, double clutch, take it out. You know what I mean? It has a Jake brake. And man, that thing, I used to make that thing go so fast.
Let's go.
Didn't you go on like 2 wheels one time by
Wow,
accident?
yeah. One story we going so fast. I could swear I made a sharp turn. I swear I went on 2 wheels.
And tell the truth. Your favorite part is when someone's parked in front of a hydrant, and you guys got to break those windows and throw the hose through.
No.
Is that not true?
Well, no. One time we had a fire. And there was, since I'm the engineer, he was parked next to the hydrant, so I had trapped them in there. I just parked right there.
Not leaving.
I trapped them, and my rig was there, and the hose lines went around his car and everything. He was done. So
Oh, you don't go through the windows?
No.
I always thought you guys break the windows to throw the hose through. And I'm like, they could have went around.
can't do that. Yeah.
They're gentlemen.
I
More
am
civil.
a gentleman.
He's a gentleman.
I used to watch a show, by the way. I'm giving it a plug, and I'll take some royalties. Rescue Me.
Oh
Were
yeah.
you a
Rescue
fan
Me.
of Rescue Me?
Yeah, I was.
He watches all those shows.
Man,
the
I
fire shows.
was
was.
binged Rescue Me for
Rescue
anybody
Me,
out
Rescue
there.
Me.
It's a great show.
But-
It's about the fire department. Is it very inaccurate?
No, some of it is accurate, but it's a lot of Hollywood, especially the station life, and yeah.
That's what I was
It's
gonna ask.
a lot of Hollywood stuff, but some of the stuff's pretty good.
All right, Rick, what we like to do, every guest that comes on and sits in that seat has to do one thing and one thing only. Be truthful, be charismatic, and be inspiring. You've done both of those. Now we're going to hit the last one. Look into that camera.
Okay.
Somebody out there that's listening to your story, that's like really something's resonating with them. What words of advice would you have for them, whether it's being a fireman, being a husband, being a father?
Well, be the best person you could be, whether if it's being a firefighter, a police officer, a talk show host. Try to be the best man you could be for your family also, and your family, and your kids.
I love it. I love it.
Always show up, you know?
Always show up.
And always show up.
That's another thing, too. Like, my dad's taught me, just, like, give it your all with anything. Don't BS it. Like, even if you hate it, still give it your all, you know?
I love that. Man, gentlemen, thank you for coming on the show, coming on the platform. I'm going to close us out here. Hey, everybody, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the FYI Podcast. Sitting here with these two gentlemen has inspired me so much. I want to send a special shout out to the Los Angeles Fire Department, to all the men and women out there putting their lives on the line, and to all first responders. We thank you from the bottom of our heart. Rick, thank you for coming on here. 33 years of service. I'm inspired. I hope you're inspired. We're chasing our dreams. Go chase yours.
You should never stress about the problems you be facing. Everybody in the mud on the struggle trying to make it. Look into the mirror and you see the motivation. Then you step into the world and you find your inspiration. I'm finding inspiration, and once I get a hold of it, I'll never get complacent. Look into the mirror and you see the motivation. Then you step into the world and you find your inspiration.